The latest study shows that you are likely to retire 3 years before you are ready to retire.
This is Retirement Revealed, where Jeremy Keil and his guests guide you towards making smarter retirement, investment, and tax planning decisions.
Welcome to Retirement Revealed. I'm your host, Jeremy Keil, and we're here to turn your retirement savings into retirement income. Today, we're talking about the latest retirement confidence survey from the Employee Benefit Research Institute and how you can actually use those results to get even more prepared for your own retirement. Now, this is the 34th annual Retirement Confidence Survey from EBRI. We'll call them EBRI from here on out. And they're looking at employee benefits, so they're thinking of 401ks and health insurance, things about that. But your retirement benefits are a big part of your employment package. So that's why they're looking into it, digging into it. And because they're really looking at employment and retirement, what's so great is they're actually talking to workers and retirees, which gives you a really good picture of what life is like in retirement versus what you maybe expected it to be like. And what's interesting here, and I saw this in a few articles, where the big news from this study that I saw in all the papers, all the articles online, is that people expect to retire on average at 65, but they end up retiring on average at 62. They end up retiring 3 years earlier on average. So that was all the big headlines that I've been reading. In my mind, that's actually not big news. Boston College, their retirement center, they reported that back in 2011. But I guess what is interesting news is that it's still the case, that people are retiring before they expected. So my key takeaway for you here is be ready for retirement 3 years ahead of time. Also part of the study that said nearly 70% of retirees who retired earlier, so these people that retired earlier on average, said it was from reasons beyond their control. Another reason to be ready for retirement 3 years at a time, because it's not totally in your control. Yes, you might have the spreadsheet. Yes, it might say exactly 65 or whatever age you want to put into there, but there's a lot of reasons and things. Seems like more than half the people that retired earlier said 70%. It was not their choice. It was just things out of their control. Maybe they were let go, their own health changed, the economy changed, their parents' health changed, a lot of things that encouraged and got the average retiree to retire 3 years earlier. Another related stat that's in this study, and I'm going to have this linked to there. If you want to read the 22-page study, go ahead. It's actually not too bad of a read. It's only 22 pages. You can get quite a lot out of it. So I'll have a link to that in the show notes. But another related stat, it shows that workers expect to claim their Social Security as soon as they retire. Now, this confirms what I hear from a lot of people where they say, okay, I'm going to retire, take my Social Security. Here's my income from Social Security. I've just got to make the rest of it work. A lot of people think that the day they retire is the day they take Social Security, as if it's the exact same thing. It's not the exact same thing. It's two different decisions. Now, I can't blame you, right? Social Security calls taking Social Security retirement. Here's a quote from the Social Security website. It says, by retirement date, we mean the month in which you intend to stop working. That makes sense. Then it says, we assume that is also the month for which you want benefits to begin. However, if you enter a date before you're eligible, we will assume you want to start receiving benefits at the earliest possible age of 62. So on the one hand, they are kind of going along with what a lot of Americans believe, that I take Social Security right away when I retire, or if I'm already retired, I take it right away at 62. So I get that. They're kind of playing into how a lot of Americans go at their Social Security, but I think they're also encouraging. They're fanning the flames of the fire here of like, oh, this is exactly how it is. So if the government's assuming, if Social Security is telling you kind of here's how it is, well, a lot of times you kind of go along with that. Thankfully, now this is straight off of a calculator. I'm not going to link to this calculator because I don't want you making those assumptions, but I will link to the SSA.gov. It's very good to go to SSA.gov, create your online login so that no one else can do it, and there can't be hopefully any fraud there anyways. But when you log in, you can go make those different assumptions that even if you were retired earlier at 60, that you could take your Social Security at 67. Or maybe you retire at 65 and you wait till 70 or 68. You can actually put in those assumptions on your own. So that's a great way to get the amount of your Social Security and figure out what that is get your own login on there. Now, here's some more news from the survey, kind of a good news, bad news. The bad news is that over a third of retirees said their travel, entertainment, or leisure expenses are higher than expected. Well, that's maybe good news. That means they're maybe traveling or going to the movies or the baseball games more than they expected. But then it says half of retirees say their overall expenses in retirement are higher than they originally expected. So that's a bit of the bad news. Although let's make use of this, right? The expenses in retirement are higher than they originally expected. I see that actually all the time, where especially that first year, when you retire your first year, you've got all the time in the world to go on vacation. And you got all the time in the world, if you aren't on vacation, to look around your house and think, I've got to fix that, I've got to update this, right? You're spending a lot more, especially the first few years of retirement, especially that first big year of retirement. So be prepared to spend more than you expect, especially that first year of retirement. And despite what the retirees are reporting as higher than expected expenses, over 2/3 of retirees agree that they are having the retirement lifestyle they envision. So the good news part there is, yes, things might cost more, but hey, you're getting to do the things that you want to do. And that's the positive news to look forward to with retirement. Here's something that was interesting, is that 75% of the workers expect to keep on working for pay in retirement. So it's this interesting trend where it's not just I'm going to a specific retirement date and then just completely get out of the workforce. It's maybe more of the phased retirement, kind of the gradual retirement. That's a good expectation. That's really the way it's heading these days. But then they asked retirees, how many of you actually worked in retirement? Only 30% actually worked in retirement. So the good news is that you are expecting this kind of gradual phasing out of working into retirement. That's good news. The bad news is more than half the people that expected to work for pay and say, yeah, I got money coming in, helping with my retirement expenses, more than half those people actually weren't working in retirement. They weren't actually getting that income they expected to get. And speaking of not getting income you're expecting to get in retirement, the survey shows 60% of workers expect to get a traditional pension. And I couldn't find a stat for this one, but I've just got a gut feeling that, and these workers are basically 25 to 65, so that 4-year time frame, especially the younger you are, I've got a strong feeling that you probably don't have that pension, right? So heading into retirement, you might be expecting to get money from working. You might be expecting to get money from your pension, and chances are that income coming in is going to be lower than you expected. So here's the 3 takeaways. First one is get your retirement plan ready 3 years before you plan to retire. Your plan, your money should be ready and invested as if you're retired 3 years before you retire. That just helps you be ready for those things that might not happen the way you want to, and you're ready to go. I've often found too, if you go into work knowing that your investment plan is ready to go, that you can walk out the door today and be okay, it's a lot easier to walk into work. It's a lot more fun knowing you're not chained to the desk. You don't have to be there. You're there because you want to be there. Second idea from the survey is don't count on making as much money in retirement as you think. People were expecting to get more working income, more pension income than they're likely to get. So I see a lot of your spreadsheets, right? You're getting ready for retirement. You put it all to a spreadsheet, and typically you want to be conservative. What if bad things happen? I want to make sure I'm okay. Usually the only way I see that happen, though, when you've got your spreadsheet going is you knock down your investment return number. You say, I'm conservative, so maybe I'm going to expect 4% instead of 5 or 5% instead of 7. However you do that, you say, I'm going to be more conservative, so I'm going to knock down my investment return number. Well, maybe the better way to be conservative is to take a look at your income. I'm expecting to get this income from Social Security, pension, and working. Maybe expect that income to be lower. Your conservative take on it might be, let me knock down my expectations from my income in retirement. And then we're seeing the survey shows that the expenses are likely to be higher. And I see this time and time again, where you create this budget from scratch, kind of build it up from zero to, let me think of my mortgage expenses and my taxes and my cable costs. And you're missing thousands and thousands of dollars because you usually look at your budget and look at it as if it's a perfect world. Like you never go out to eat, your car never breaks down, your kids never ask you for money. And so whatever your budget is, I'm just going to encourage you to plan on it being higher. The retirees are telling you the expenses are going to be higher. So your way to be conservative in your planning is to expect a lower income in retirement and plan for your expenses to be higher. And of course, remember too, last part of great takeaways here from the survey is remember that your retirement decision and your Social Security decision are not intertwined. They are not the same decision. These are two different things, two different decisions. You should retire when you want to, and when you can afford to, you should take your Social Security when it gives you the best chance to get the most money from retirement. So there you go. You got some great takeaways from the Employee Benefit Research Institute, the Retirement Confidence Survey. Take that to make your retirement planning even better. Thank you for listening to the Retirement Revealed podcast. We believe if you know more about your money, you will feel better about your money and you will make better money decisions. Hi, I'm Jeremy Keil, owner of Keil Financial Partners. And if you're interested in seeing how we help our clients get more income, pay less in taxes, and avoid big retirement mistakes, make sure to go to keilfp.com. That's KEILFP.com.